guys, here's what the M3 looked like after I got hit on track at Chuckwalla and brought it home. Provide a link to that video up top. Since then, I've provided 2 videos in this series on how to dismantle the car, 1 on the differential and axles and 2 on the bumper and fenders. Today, we're going to start the rebuilding process. First, we got to source the body parts we need. Got this non-M3 E92 door from a junkyard for around $200, but the big purchase was this rear quarter panel. It cost me $5,000 to get it from the factory in Germany and shipped to the United States. Next up, we had to cut out the door and the existing rear quarter panel to make sure that what we have is still repairable and that, behind the skin is still usable. So here I took it to a body shop and see what they found. Came to the body shop today, check on status of pulling the frame, seeing what damage we've got underneath the quarter panel here. They've got the frames somewhat straightened, but obviously more to go. They're optimistic it can be done. This baffle here got crumpled. It's a crumple zone. Could replace it, but to replace it, you gotta replace this entire piece here. It goes all the way back there. And I'll be waiting to get that from Germany for another month. So the team is optimistic they can actually repair this, pull it out. Behind there is structurally it's still sound, so it's just a sheet metal really. Pulled the rear window out and the windscreen in the back. I came here today to try and remove some stuff that they were having trouble with due to the roll cage. So I took out the rear window. I just had to remove the defroster wires and then remove the rear panels. I still had the panels in the car, even though they weren't used. So no more speakers back there. That's pulled. And pulled the headliner. That was also causing a problem with the roll cage. So just pulled that out. They're going to need that headliner out as well as the dashboard out to weld the new piece in. The new quarter panel goes all the way over here, all the way up, over to the rear. Unfortunately, my Bimmer Challenge windshield cracked in the process of them removing the front. Oh well, it's the OEM windscreen. It had some chips anyway, had some time. It's probably time. During his 11 years old. While they're at it, they're gonna go ahead and move the pump for me here. We're gonna move it up into this cavity. I could do it, but I'm gonna be out of town when they're done pulling it. So they're gonna go ahead and relocate this for me. Why? The new fenders that I've ordered, they have vents that'll help with cooling for the brakes, airflow, etc., supposedly. So in order to accommodate them though, in the vents and so forth, you've gotta move this pump into the cavity. I'm gonna go ahead and let them do that. And I'll be back in about a week, check on progress, see how we're doing. If you've ever wondered what an M3 looks like underneath the body shell, take a look. Here you go. The unibody was actually fairly straight. They didn't have to bend it much. It didn't get hit very hard. It was mostly the door and the rear quarter panel. They just had to pull out some of those baffles, the crumple zones, and they say they're still safe, fingers crossed. But here you go. We've got the new quarter panel welded in, sanded down, prepping here for paint. We'll find out just how straight and smooth it all is once it's put back together, but at this stage, it's looking pretty good. Final step here at the body shop, we're sanding the door down, getting it prepped for paint. We'll do final paint on the door and the rear quarter panel. Take a look at how beautiful it turned out. There you go. We still, of course, don't have the fenders installed because we'll be installing some aftermarket in a bit, but here we are transporting the car over to Workstate BMW. Look at how busy their shop is between BMWs and Rolls-Royce, where the guys there are going to help me rebuild the rear end. So we got the body kind of done. Used door refinished. Brand new quarter panel from Germany, from the factory. Tack welded on. Of course, the shop didn't bother to paint over the tack weld, so we got to do that. Before we slap on the rocker panel, which was also replaced or refinished. We got to put the fenders on, but before we do that, got to get a bracket that the body shop lost. So here I am trying to make it to a race this week. Missing bracket. Still got to assemble the body pieces here. We got most of the mechanics done. Here's a rebuilt diff ready to go. 3.62 final drive. All excited for that. We got to program it for the DCT. And these rebuilt axles, supposedly rated up to 1,000 horsepower. So axles should be good. While we're in here doing that, you know, decided we got to drop the subframe, go solid bushings on not only the diff, you know, up those three there, but also all the subframe bushings. So all new subframe bushings have been installed. Subframe is up there, and I'm like, now, while we're at it, might as well go SPL on all the trailing arms, the guide links, end links. And I mean, if we're gonna take it out, we might as well upgrade the hubs to Core 4 with M14 pressed in studs. I mean, this is top-notch quality right here. And I figured, well, if we're gonna do that in the rear, might as well do it in the front. So did the Core 4 hubs up front as well. And now I gotta install some of the SPL arms, at least the end links and tie rods up front. But here's the problem. We go to bleed the brake system and discovered a rupture in the line here. So of course I've got a corner balance appointment in the morning, which I'm not going to make it because we got to get that hard line from BMW, and of course they don't stock any locally. This is just my luck. Look at that beauty. Awesome work by Red at Workstate BMW. Beautiful. Rebuilt diff, 3.62 final drive. All new SPL arms, end links. Some new brake lines. It's looking beautiful. All right, got the M3 back. Finally, it's kind of partially put together. Mechanically, I think it's put together. Just got to do a little bodywork, touch up. We got a window here that doesn't go up and down yet. And the best part is, I've got no windshield. There's no windshield. We're going to be driving home because the windshield guys broke the windshield like twice. And so I'm going to be driving on the city streets with my motorcycle helmet just so we can get home and get the fenders put on. But I'm excited to drive this thing. It's going to be the first time in 3 months, so let's give it a go. Finally, guys, I had intended on documenting the process for installing these vented carbon fiber looking fenders from DTM Fiberworks, but the process proved to be extremely difficult. It didn't come pre-drilled with holes. That's fine. I drilled the holes for the OEM mounting points, but the problem is it also, you know, the OEM fenders have like a bracket that the rocker panels press into, and that's not on these fenders. And so I had to cut out that bracket from the OEM fenders. I ended up taking it back to the body shop so that Johnny there could fiberglass it into these fenders for me. He did the final fit and it turned out beautiful. But just know, if you're going to buy these type of fenders, it is not easy. I'd heard that rumor, but it is true. They're very difficult to install. It doesn't matter what manufacturer you go with, Flossman, whoever, apparently it's difficult. So look at that. The final fit is perfect. Here's the car all put back together. I've missed like 3-4 races this season, but I'm excited to get back on track. So be sure to like and subscribe to follow along as I get back on track at Laguna Seca.